Let me have a follow-up question a little bit, because you also started the presentation with saying about promoting democracy on example, and I just wanted to ask you, having January 6, 2021 in the US still fresh in our memories, do you think that the reputation of the United States around the world suffered, and therefore authority to promote democracy has decreased? Because many leaders might just say, look, if you want to tell us about democracy first, maybe you should do it in your own country. So I'm just curious on your opinion on that.
Yeah, I think that this was a big blow, right, to the legitimacy of American democracy. And I have, read some Twitter accounts of like African leaders, and saying exactly what you are saying. Who is the United States to preach to us if they can't keep their house in order? Nonetheless, right, I think that those leaders, those societies, those countries who have never sort of trusted American democracy as a legitimate source of or a legitimate example to follow, right? Those have already been persuaded way before January 6th, right? And on the other hand, I've heard some voices also within even Czech society who are saying, well, actually, what happened on the 6th was an example of how democracy should work in terms of, the people, right, who are the ones who vest the power in their government, who outsource the power to govern, right, to their politicians, right? They were not barred from entering, right? They were not oppressed, right? It was they were, the Congress was sort of made available to them to vent their frustrations. So in a totalitarian system, they would not even get so close, let's say, right, to the politicians, right? But for some, this shows how much power the people in the United States actually have, right? And at the same time, we can interpret it as, a testament to the strength of American democracy, that the power is in the people. It's not in the state and the politicians. The people still have the power, right? And of course, it's a perverse way of seeing this event, right? But it is a part of an interpretation, right, saying that it only showed how much actually the United States is a democracy, right? Because the people were permitted to vent their frustration the way they did, right? So I don't think that in the long term this has hurt American democracy, right? I think what was much worse, right, was the 2003 intervention in Iraq, right, and the aftermath in terms of, in the end, the Bush administration, having no other justification for going into Iraq, said we're going in there to build democracy, right? And it, we all know how, unfortunate the whole mission ended, right? In terms of Iraq, being on the verge of a failed state, when ISIS sort of emerged, right? So that was much bigger, sort of long-term blow to the status of the United States in general, right? Where it was believed to be such a breach of national sovereignty of a third state, right? And also a blow to the agenda of democracy promotion. That's something that lost legitimacy even sort of among European leaders, right? But the January 6th is going to be an event, right, that might be on the minds of some leaders, but those who have been already persuaded about, let's say, the hypocrisy of American democracy, they have only been, sort of strengthened in their opinion on this. And for those who haven't had this sort of understanding, I think it's not going to change their mind about the resilience of American democracy anyway.